Hi, this is part 4 of The Earth is My Mother, I Shall Not Want. So, like I was saying, this January 1st New Year's thing doesn't serve us here in the Southern Hemisphere. And it serves the Northerners a little bit better, but even there, it should be the beginning of spring, as a lot of commentators have pointed out, on various platforms. It should be the beginning of spring. And just like I was saying, with us here in the South, before, when we were living in the pre colonial times, it was in September when the rains came, and more specifically, when it was that soft rain that permeates the earth, that really gets things growing and settles the plants into the rhythm of beginning to flourish and produce all the fruits and the seeds and the flowers that sustain life, okay, of all the animals, including ourselves, that live on this planet, right? But beyond New Year's, right, there are so many other things, because what happens after New Year's, right? It's Valentine's Day on the 14th of February, right? And then after Valentine's Day, what do we have? It's like Mother's Day, Father's Day, and then in between we have certain public holidays like Freedom Day and Human Rights Day, which used to be Sharpeville Day. Then we go on, we have Women's Day, and in May we have Workers' Day, and then we have Heritage Day, which used to be King Shaka Day. Then we have the Day of Reconciliation, which used to be the Day of the Vow, and then back to Christmas, and then back to New Year's. And if you look at these things that we celebrate, and then obviously we've got all these like public holidays in South Africa, but just think about Valentine's Day. Okay, Valentine's Day is apparently a day where lovers exchange gifts and cards and flowers and presents and whatnot, right? And love exchanges and displays of love, apparently. What is Valentine's Day? Who was Saint Valentine? If you look at the history, it's actually a celebration of the love between friends. That's what Valentine's Day is actually supposed to be, celebrating the love between friends. But friendship love is not as commercially viable as romantic love between a man and a woman, or a man and a man, and a woman, or whoever, whichever lovers, amore relationship that you're in. That's much more lucrative. Why? Because you want to impress the person that you like. So you're going to buy them roses and chocolates and jewelry and handbags and whatever. But and then what do, right? So instead of like Friendship Day, like, you're my friend and I love you for life, and you're so cool and thank you for understanding me. Just see, if it's a Friendship Day thing, we're talking about much more of exchanges that are like verbal and consciousness based. It's not consumerist based, right? It's much more heart to heart, right? Whereas with the romantic side, like I say, it's more about consumption, because we've been programmed to believe that if a man must show his love to a woman, he needs to buy her stuff. And if a woman must show her love to a man, she needs to make him stuff or buy him stuff as well. And people must take each other out to fancy restaurants and spend money, right? The point is to get you to spend money. Friends don't really generate that much money. But also, if you look at it, like what they've done, right? They've gone and stuck Cupid, little Cupid with his bow and arrow, with his wings on the card, right? And Cupid is supposed to be the god of love. And, Cupid's arrow is going to strike your heart and you're going to fall in love, and then you'll be in love forever, whatever. But if you actually look at who is Cupid, right? Who is Cupid? Cupid is the Roman version of Eros. Eros is reduced through later mythologizing by patriarchal men, to being the daughter of, the son of Aphrodite, but could be a daughter because Eros is actually androgynous, okay? But if you look at like the real story of Eros is actually a primordial force who predates Aphrodite. So you might even say that if you had to couple anyone together, Aphrodite would be the daughter of Eros, okay? But obviously it works to contain this thing called eros, love, romantic, sensual, sexual love, to confine it into a nice, neat little box as as the son or the daughter of the goddess of love, right? But it's a primordial force. And so it makes you think, what is love? What is sensuality? What is sexuality? What are all these things, these passionate, romantic feelings, these physical sensations that you feel when you're attracted to someone? What power do they have? You know what I'm saying? But it all gets nicely boxed into these sellable little greeting cards so that you can think that you are expressing your eros to another person on Valentine's Day, and what's very sad is that you actually see some couples where that day becomes so important for them to actually feel that they have a platform to express their love to each other. So these days as well, they capture you, man. They capture you and they put you in a state of feeling like, this is the day that I have to do this, when you should be doing these things all the time if it truly is a part of who you are. Same thing with Christmas. Okay, fine. We all know that Christmas is not the day when Jesus was born. But if you're going to have that day for being the day when you celebrate the birth of the person that you say is your Messiah and the savior of your soul, what are you talking about? You should be celebrating this person every single day of the year. Similarly, like Mother's Day, Father's Day, all these things, they become like so heavily politicized, socialized, and made into economically productive holidays for the good of someone else that's not you. And you look at like Mother's Day, for example, you need to now buy your mom a gift and make her breakfast in bed and make her feel special. You should be doing that every day for your mom, because your mom does the things for you, okay? And you'll have these men who think they're so freaking amazing because one day of the year they cook breakfast for their wives. They take care of their kids so their wife can go to the spa one day of the year. So it shows us that we're out of sync with reality, with truth. And if you look at the earth is every single day breathing for us, every single day producing food for us, every single day her sun and her moon and her clouds and her rivers and her oceans and her air are there for us to serve us. You know what I'm saying? So the calendar should also reflect that on a day-by-day basis, as humans, we are growing, we are evolving, we are maturing, we are honoring the earth and honoring each other and honoring ourselves, and not confining the honoring of the earth. Like there's Earth Day now. I mean, for God's sake, every day is supposed to be Earth Day, obviously, because we live on the earth every single day. You know what I'm saying? So the calendar should be there, yes, to be in sync. Let's celebrate the beginning of the year when the first rains come. Let's celebrate the rest that winter calls us to with whatever appropriate festivals. And the festivals are fun because they do bring your psychology into play and they do help your body and your nervous system to recalibrate and to feel, like you are dancing with the rhythm of the earth. So that's the awesome thing about them. But like I say, it's not working for human beings. And we need to extract ourselves from this calendar, which really works to extract value from us for the benefit of people who are not ourselves. I think I'd also add that, the time that we spend on this planet is time that is finite. It's finite time, and we really ought to do more to honor this time that we spend on this planet, and to do more to leave the earth in a better state, to be cliche, than we found it, to have set a good example for our fellow human beings, for the next generation, to have created cultural norms that heighten the human experience and not diminish it, and to also create the culture of standing up against the people who are obsessed with treating the earth and the inhabitants of the earth as objects from which they can extract value for their own selfish well-being. Okay.